No, let's take a nap. Bird, we're gonna go to sleep, okay? Where are you going? Where are you going? Don't leave me. Hey. But no, come back. Come back to me, Bird. No. Ugh, this fabric smells like plastic. Today we're going to be talking about the Ladybug bodysuit. And in case you couldn't tell, I'm wearing a dress with a cat on it! So although it may seem like a pretty simple bodysuit, a lot of work went into making this look like it is from the show. So without further ado, let me show you how I made it. Alright, let's get started on our bodysuit. Today I'm going to be using a metallic spandex. As you can see, I'm using a homemade pattern, and that is because I know this bodysuit pattern fits me. If you don't already have a bodysuit pattern that you like, I'm going to recommend the Yaya Han pattern from McCall's or the Simplicity 1036. Alright, and then we have the other pieces of the bodysuit, which are sleeves, which we need 2 of. These are gloves, and it is a full pattern. It's the both sides folded open. This is the thumb piece for the glove. This is the finger piece that goes in between the fingers so you can move them. And lastly, back here, that triangle is the crotch piece that goes in the leggings so you can actually move your legs. After the bodysuit was cut out, I moved on to making all the little black spots that go all over her bodysuit. For this, I am using a black metallic spandex and a circle pattern that is about 2.5 inches tall. Once you have a ton of dots cut out, we're going to start pinning them to the bodysuit. And the best way to do this is just to reference a picture of Ladybug and start at the top and just start pinning them down. Make sure you hold it up to yourself or try it on to make sure the spots are where you like them. Repeat this process for the sleeves, and then we're going to move on to sewing down each and every one of these little dots. To do this, I am using invisible thread, which you can get from Joann's or your local sewing store. And I'm using a tight zigzag stitch and pretty much sewing around the entire circumference of the circle. No joke, I forget how many spots are actually on this bodysuit, but this took forever. And I hated it, and I will never make another one of these again, but the outcome is so beautiful, it was worth it. And you could just stop there, but you know me and I'm a perfectionist. We're gonna go on to add the texture or the pattern on top of the bodysuit. So in the cartoon, both Ladybug and Cat Noir have this honeycomb texture printed throughout the entire suit. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a white glitter translucent fabric paint, dabbing it on a stencil that I bought on eBay, and then stamping it over the entirety of all my pattern pieces. Once again, this took forever, but the outcome was totally worth it. Taking a break from the bodysuit, we are going to start to assemble the gloves. First thing you want to do is going to sew together that little thumb piece and then pin it into the hole in the glove. And as you can see, I already sewed the spot on and textured all the pieces of the gloves as well. Once the thumb is sewed in, you're going to sew in that long strip that goes in between all of the fingers. This is extremely tedious once again because gloves are very small and you have a lot of curves to go around, but you're just going to start at one point on the pointer finger on one side of the glove, sew it all the way around all the fingers, then put the glove right sides together and sew the other side of the strip to the other side of the glove. Ta-da! These gloves look amazing and they move really easily. Back to the bodysuit, I'm going to attach the black collar. So I cut the pattern pieces out of the same black fabric that I made the spots, and before I sew them on, I am stamping them with the fabric paint. Go ahead and attach those, and then we're going to start to spot the back side of the pattern. So using the front side as a reference, we're going to put the spots as close as possible to the spaces they are on the front side. Sew all of those down, and then stamp it with the texture. Lastly, we're going to add a zipper to the back of the bodysuit. This is pretty self-explanatory, just pin it down on each side and then sew it together. And I did use an invisible zipper so you won't be able to see it like in between these spots, and my bodysuit will look very flush. Pin these shoulders together of the bodysuit and sew them together. Next we're going to attach the sleeves. So lay the shoulder seam out flat and pin in your sleeve and then sew it in. And for the majority of the sewing of the bodysuit, I am using a serger, but if you don't have a serger, you can totally just use a zigzag stitch on your normal machine. Once the arms are in, you can go ahead and put right sides together and sew down the both sides of the entire bodysuit, but leave the middle of the legs open, because we're going to be adding that crotch piece so we're able to move easily. So just pin one side down, sew it in place, and then sew the other side into place, and at the same time sew all of the inner of the leg together. With that, the bodysuit is complete. One little last touch I added were elastic straps both on my hands and my feet to keep the bodysuit in place. Now we're gonna make the booties. So I am making my own pattern by wrapping my leg in saran wrap and then using painter's tape to cover the whole thing. And I'm doing this over a ballet flat that I know I'm gonna be using for this costume. I quickly used a Sharpie to draw in on the pattern where my seam lines were gonna be and then cut all the pieces apart. Cut your new booty pattern pieces out of your red metallic spandex. Add one spot on the top of each foot and then texture the whole thing with your fabric paint and stencil. You can make slip-on ones if you want, but I don't trust them because they can move around and whatnot. Then I am pretty much dedicating this pair of ballet flats to this costume. They're going to be permanently attached to these boot covers, so I'm pinning them into place. And to attach the boot covers to my flats, I am just using plain old 100% clear silicone. And I put it in a smaller squirt bottle just because it would be easier to use, but you can use it right out of the tube if that's all you have. Slowly run a line of silicone on the bottom of the shoe, fold your fabric on top of it, and pin it into place. Let this dry overnight before you take out the pins and trim the excess fabric. And if you want to find out how I made my magic yo-yo and my earrings, check out the tutorial listed in the description below. But in this video, I need to show you how I am attaching the yo-yo to my hip like she does in the show. And to do that, I'm actually using magnets. So I just super glued one magnet to the back of the yo-yo, and I'm hiding the magnet on the bodysuit inside one of the spots. So just go ahead and rip up a little bit on a spot that is in the general position on your hip where your yo-yo is gonna sit, slip the magnet inside, and sew it shut. A motorcycle just went by, can you hear it? Whoops. And now you have a hidden magnet that holds your yo-yo with no string, no nothing. You can take it on and off without having any sort of belt, and it looks really cool just like in the show. Tiki, transforme-moi! I don't have any face paint that I like yet for this character, so do you think this will disguise me enough without my mask? A few little tips I want to give you if you decide to make this costume out of metallic spandex just like I did. One, you can kind of tell that metallic spandex is very form-fitting, and like you can see the circle of my sports bra right here. I have yet to find any sort of bra that is hidden under this suit. For panties, I do wear my Victoria's Secret seamless underwear. You cannot see them at all, so it's only bras that I have a problem with. Are you done yelling? You're a crybaby right now. And metallic spandex is not nearly as stretchy as regular spandex. It is a lot more difficult to move. I do have free range of motion still, but it is a little more tight and uncomfortable as a normal spandex would be. And lastly, if you have not already heard me complain through the whole video, metallic spandex is not breathable hardly at all. This costume is extremely hot, but I really like it. Spots off! What's the French detransformation phrase? I don't even think they say it in the French version. Looks like I'm just gonna have to go back and rewatch the episodes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I was like, what is tickling me? My own real hair, not my wig hair. Oh crap, I think I cut out the wrong glove. I did! Suck it! The bird likes anything red, so whenever I have anything red in the vicinity, the bird must be here. Oh, I see you! Just sneaking around, you little poke. Bird! I know, come back. It's okay. I totally just knocked over my ring light.